Good day, this is Version Bola. I'm here at Carib-Sport. Well, it's a Saturday, so the date is the 7th of June. And just a few hours ago, Trinidad Tobago played St. Kitts. No, before this match, I was hoping we could win by 3 to 4 goals. I was hoping we'd score 3 to 4 goals at least. Good news is we scored 6 goals, and we won by 4 goals. That was great. Bad news is the defense wasn't the greatest, and we did concede two goals in the first half, and it was a 2-all draw in the first half. Um, the defense was a bit leaky. I thought these fellas were just nonchalant. I think they were playing St. Kitts and just, no, St. Kitts. And St. Kitts gave us the shock of a lifetime. Each time they were a goal down, they came up and equalized to make it 2-all at the first half. Um, just a quick little mention about the Kittians. The goalkeeper looked pretty decent despite the 6 goals. I mean, the poor fella could only keep out so many goals. He did save a penalty after all. His name is Jelani Archibald. His name might sound familiar. He played for W Connection for 5 years, from 2013 to 2018. And just when our PFL was dissolving, he went on to have a career in Europe and Central America. He presently plays in the Honduran First Division. The guy who scored the first goal, that beautiful goal where he went through, shot it between two defenders. His name is Javon Armory. He plays for Village Superstars in St. Kitts. How you mean? And the guy who scored the second goal, his name is I don't know if I can even read my writing. Tequani Williams, and Tequani plays in the Kosovo First Division. So as I said, the defense at times was very nonchalant. I was watching this game on CONCACAF channel on YouTube, and I get the impression that maybe this commentator, sometimes they put Spanish fellas who speak English well, and the commentary was a bit flat. You would swear Sheldon Batu and Rapasa didn't play this game. I never hear that man call their name once. I think next time I'll just look for an illegal feed and get British commentary or something. The commentary was a bit disappointing, quite frankly. But thank you to CONCACAF for bringing every game free on YouTube. God sent for us people living abroad. It really is. Um, Dante Sealy, well, Dante Sealy, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago. Or is it the other way around? Trinidad and Tobago, welcome to Dante Sealy. The son of Scott Sealy, ex-Trinidad player, ex-Fatima College player, if I remember correctly. School of great luminaries, Brian Lara, Ato Boulder, me. All right. So this guy Dante, we knew he had pedigree. He played for USA at youth level. He plays in the MLS for Montreal Impact. Um, and yes, what a wonderful addition. Dante on the right, Spicer on the left, Levi Garcia up front. And the combination of Dante and Garcia was just tormenting the Kittians. And of course, you had a big solid provider on the left with Terry Spicer. It was a wonderful thing to watch. It's been a while since I've seen a combination of TNT players torture defense like that. Not since the days of a younger Molino and Jovan Jones. So that was a wonderful thing to watch. He scored 2 goals. It was a great way for him to make his introduction and get blooded gradually. I mean, you can make a debut against Mexico or USA, but St. Kitts is something a level he can handle. He played not a full game, but he played well. And there was a good blooding experience. Get him ready, a little acclimatized before he goes on to a much sterner test against Costa Rica in a few days. Phillips and Ajani Fortune, both midfielders, both good solid presences in the midfield. Phillips hit the bar, Ajani Fortune scored a goal. What I like about these guys, they may not be a Latipi or Dwarika, but they're strong. They can shoot from the outside and they're big solid men. This is very important. We have very talented guys like Real Gill, Aubrey, and John Paul Rushford, and they just get pushed around easily. They were like non-factors when they played against Jamaica and USA in the Gold Cup a few years back. They just could not handle the size. Nobody's pushing around these two guys, Phillips and Fortune, and of course you got Spicer. And of course you got Levi up front. So that is very, very wonderful to watch. At least they're solid. Um, Natty James, when he's back with the Trinidad and Tobago team, he's scoring goals again. That was wonderful. And it is good to know that when you put Dante, Garcia, and Spicer up there, and they do a little something, you have young, fresh legs, fast and strong, and scorers like a Nathaniel James. And I expect Rion Moore to come back to the team when he regains his form. I don't know if he's coming off an injury, but the Rion Moore we know is not the Rion Moore that has been playing recently. And I'm not surprised that he was excluded from this particular squad. Trinidad and Tobago at times in this match was playing with 3 at the back. It seems very normal apparently for at least one of the defenders to run up or to have 3 at the back and have a midfielder run back and help the defenders. Earlier that day, I saw Argentina versus Chile. if I remember correctly. I wrote it down because I always forgetting these damn things. Yes, Argentina versus Chile. Argentina at one point was pressing so hard they had two at the back, almost at the half line. And they have to thank God Chile did not have the speed to counter. And I kept thinking, what if a man like Clint Marcel and Leon St. Louis was on the opposing side? With those acres of space, they would have make mass. Trinidad and Tobago has to be careful at times. There was three at the back, and of course people would fall back when necessary. But you saw how we struggled against St. Kitts, okay? Um, what am I trying to say? I would really like us to see four at the back at all times because it's us. We are not a defensive genius. We really are not. Um, Again, we struggle with Ghana and we've struggled to some degree with St. Kitts, and that is good. We need to know our fallibilities. We need to take it seriously because Costa Rica will be a real test in San Jose. Um, so we're going up against Costa Rica. Costa Rica right now will have to play Bahamas this weekend in Bahamas. They should win that game easily. For those of you who don't know, all the games are not home and away. I think for the sake of time, each team is allowed 2 home games and 2 away games. So we were very lucky, as we seem to usually be. We played our home games against St. Kitts and Bahamas, which is guaranteed points. We went to Grenada game, which we could have won, but we found ourselves 2-0 down. And luckily, thank God, came back to draw. Yes. Now we go on to Costa Rica. Now, right now, I'm watching the points here. We have 7, Costa Rica has 6. Costa Rica should beat Bahamas easy. That would put them on 9. It means to top the group, we would have to beat Costa Rica in Costa Rica, which we have never done. If we draw, we'll get a guaranteed second spot, and we're on to the final round. Now, this is very important. We have a goal difference of 10. Grenada is behind us with a goal difference of 3. And Grenada is 3 points behind us. If we lose by 3 or 4 goals, which is possible, and Grenada wins by 3 or 4 goals, all of a sudden, on goal difference, ladies and gentlemen, it could be Grenada getting that second spot to go to the qualifying round. Now, people might say, well, that's hardly. I mean, Grenada's final game is in St. Kitts. St. Kitts is not a bad squad. What are the chances of St. Kitts, watching St. Kitts points here, only 3. 1 point behind Grenada. They have no chance. Even if they win, they're out of it. St. Kitts should have a slight edge for this game. They're not a bad side. It's a matter of pride. But strange things have happened before. Grenada could win in St. Kitts. You don't know what could happen in a football match. I just watched Nicaragua struggle against Guyana in Nicaragua tonight. So mathematically, these things are not impossible. It's not about having goat mouth. It's not about being pessimistic. If you follow Trinidad typical football, we have become food for these other countries. In case you don't know, let me just help you out a little bit. 1989, okay, we failed for the World Cup November 19th, 1989, my birthday. There we go. So we said 94 for sure. Well, fast forward 1991, we win the CFU title in Trinidad. We beat Jamaica 3-1. 1 week later, first qualifying World Cup match in Trinidad is against who? Jamaica. We were brimming with confidence. We just beat them. Jamaica beat us in Trinidad. We went to Jamaica, we draw. No more World Cup for us. We failed right out of the gates. Okay, fast forward, I believe it was 2014. We're in a group with Bermuda, Guyana, and some other country. I think it was Barbados. We lost a match to Bermuda, we lost a match to Guyana. And it was Guyana, of all people, pipping us to go to the semi-finals of the CONCACAF rounds. Finished. Guyana, just out. Fast forward now to 2022 in a group with St. Kitts, Bahamas, and Puerto Rico. We beat St. Kitts 2-0, but we ended up drawing with Puerto Rico and drawing with the Bahamas. In the final match, we just had to beat Bahamas. We would have qualified for the next round. We played the match like we had already qualified. And with 1 minute to go, realizing we mightn't qualify, we went all out. 1 minute to go. And we drew 0-0. Bahamas started a ball like they win the World Cup itself. And it was St. Kitts that edged us in our group to go to the next round. So here, you see what I'm telling you here, 2014 Guyana edged us when we thought we could beat them. And for the 2022 qualifier, St. Kitts edged us. I would be so heartbroken if Grenada somehow mathematically does this. You need to understand something. 3 spots are already guaranteed. Then there are, I know USA has a question mark these days, but 3 spots are guaranteed. 3 qualifiers are guaranteed. That's 6. Then 2 of the second place teams in the final round will play a playoff. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the top 8. Oh, Jesus Christ, we can't make the top 8. We really shouldn't go to a World Cup. And if we couldn't get the better of Grenada, well, whose fault is that? I don't know what to say now. I really don't know what to say. It's all up to St. Kitts. It's all up to St. Kitts. I think they can handle Grenada. but I think it'll be a competitive match. I have to work when that match starts. I catch the last 30 minutes. Um, but mathematically, no, there's no need to be overly pessimistic. I'm not. I'm just saying mathematically what could happen, and these things have happened before. Last time around, we played Costa Rica was for the 18 qualifiers, and we gave them all they can handle. They beat us 2-1. We dominated Costa Rica in the second half. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but we did. And they hung on. Um, but that was the days of Kevin Molino, Jovan Jones, Sheldon Batu in their prime. Not to mention some other players, you know. It's a very different team today. Yeah, Molino and Jovan Jones there, but it's a very different team. Defensively speaking, I think we're all a little worried about Trinidad and Tobago. But hopefully Dwight will have a plan. I certainly hope he has a plan. So that's my thing. Hopefully we'll have a solid four at the back at all times. Um, Alvin Jones, I still want to see him play. I was very surprised Cardinals did not get a game today, but you know, it was a good performance by those who played. So I'm not really seeing anything. I'm okay with it. I haven't seen it trying to go forward line look that nice in a long time. Maybe win a match, maybe even beat people a lot, like we did in the past. But the flair, the guy, there was the TNT of old, watching bamboozle people with the skills. It was a sign of things to come. And as I said, a young Natty James, a fit Rion Moore to come off the bench is something to look forward to. The olden days when we had, in the space of one breath, you had Evans Wise, you had Leon St. Louis, Clint, Marcel Russell, Latapi, Dwight Yorke, Tony Rouget, Dwarika. We got the next fella, boy, Terry St. Louis. Those days of breathtaking, overwhelming skill are gone. I was settled for Marvin Foster and Hudson Charles today, to be honest. Those were defensive players, but they had good skills. So that's it. Mathematically, we have a chance. It'll be Costa Rica. It'll be high altitude. But I'm sure Dwight has a plan. I gotta be honest, I don't expect us to win. But it would be nice to put up a fighting performance. But if we lose by a lot of goals, and Grenada scored enough goals to pip us on goal difference, because they'll have equal points but better goal difference, I will bust some cuss. So here, the match is on the 10th. It's a Tuesday. I wish TNT the best in that game. The players to look out for, obviously, Levi, Garcia, Spicer, and Dante, Sealy. I don't think defensively speaking anybody was overwhelming today, but I would like to see Alvin Jones there. I'd like to see him start. He's got a good free kick. He's got a good powerful shot from the outside. And I'm curious to see if Cardinals will get a game. I like the way Phillips ran back and held out in defense. And again, big solid men. We need to have some speed. The Costa Ricans will be attacking. They're going to be looking for goals. They play a very aggressive game. But when they attack like that, we will have a chance for counters. Levi has got some speed. Dante is not bad. Spicer is a big, strong man. He's not that fast, but we will have our space. I'm curious to see what happens in the second half. That's where the altitude catches up with you. But I'm telling you, last time around, we dominated Costa Rica in the second half. I have to admire these gentlemen for that. So I'm wishing Trinidad and Tobago the best. I believe we can do it. I believe we can get the second spot. Then we go into the next rounds. And even if we don't win our groups in the final rounds, I believe 2 of the second place teams will get a chance for playoffs. So we have a legitimate chance. Let's wish St. Kitts the best of luck. All right. And God bless TNT. God bless Dwight Yorke. Let's mash them up on June 10th.